I'm Mr. Grindler, and here are my creatures. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Mr. Grindlers Creatures, but on today's episode we are rehousing a Lasiodora parahybana, so the salmon pink bird eater. So there is a particular reason why we're rehousing this female, and it's not just because we want to rehouse it, but basically it's like I'll show you in a minute, but you know, like the Exoterra tanks, you know how they have the mesh lids on top, so we removed the mesh lid and we put perspex in there and we actually like siliconed it all the way around. Stupidly, we put some heavy stuff on top of the tank. Well, it weren't even that heavy, to be fair. It was like a box, and yeah, the panel just literally went in. So this is an urgent rehouse that needs to be done because yeah, we don't want a salmon pink bird eater loose around the house. We've had enough tarantulas loose around this house. Well, actually, we've only had one, but yeah. So I've got Craig with me. So Catchlock's Arachnophobia. He is currently sat in the corner right now, being very quiet. I don't know if you can hear him, but he said hello. So basically, I'm going to take the camera in a second. We're going to go down to the actual tank. We're going to have a look at it. I'm not sure how we plan on actually doing this because I don't think either of the tanks are going to be able to go on this table due to the weight. So it might be a floor job. So we might just have to put them both together. But yeah, we're going to set it all up and we'll show you. Just give me 2 seconds, guys. Before I show you the broken tank, let's have a look at what this Lasiodora parahybana will now be spending its life inside. Some of you from my previous channel will probably recognise this tank, which used to house many Balfouries inside. But now it is going to house a tarantula that is going to grow into some beast. Now these tarantulas can grow up to a leg span of around 11 inch. They need plenty of space once they get bigger, meaning this tank was a perfect choice to house her in. As always, I have to have a Buddha in the tank. Covering it up with cork bark I thought would be a cool place for her to be able to go inside. While she has that area, she also has this half broken cork bark tube, allowing a dark area for her to hide away and burrow. Although these tarantulas are a very out and about display species, the majority of the time if I go to look at her tank, she was always out resting on top of her cork bark. But that does not mean they still don't need an area to burrow, as they will still use it. I'm a bit gutted that this was an emergency rehouse, to be honest, as I always wanted this girl to be rehoused into a fully bioactive tank. Now this has to be my favourite part of this tank, the Buddha head laying in the substrate. Just imagine the Lasiodora parahybana just walking across that. It would be fantastic to get that on footage. Use it for a reel maybe, a TikTok, or even get a nice photo. Most of you know, but for those new here who don't, I want to introduce you to one of my other passions, and that is Buddhism. While I don't talk about it on the channel, it's a big part of my life and daily routine and has been for years now. I think by adding Buddhas into the tank it gives off a nice Zen vibe, but also it's mixing two things together that I love. But now, let's get back so I can show you why we had to do an emergency rehouse. Okay, so this is the Lasiodora parahybana tank, as you can see. So she is just there. But yeah, there's a massive hole directly just there, as you can see. So this should literally just go on. But yeah, unfortunately it caved in. So I guess we just take this off to start with and we can have a better look, can't we? But for real, these tarantulas can be very docile the majority of the time. What I just showed you is more of a feeding response, which these tarantulas are very known for. They are voracious eaters and probably one of my favourite species to feed in my collection, owning around about 4, all juveniles and above. As you can see, no issues, it all went rather smoothly. For anyone wondering, I would highly recommend these to any beginner keeper. Being a hardy species and being rather docile, while also being voracious eaters at the same time, what more could you want? And while we talk about feeding this species, I do have some footage very soon destroying multiple Morio worms. But just before that, you know what is about to come. Just think, Tarantula and Buddha. Piece it together. What a sight, absolutely beautiful. Can we get her on the Buddha, do you think? As that would complete what I aim to achieve by placing this head here. Right, guys, so that is the rehouse for the Lasiodora parahybana, so the salmon pink bird eater, and I'm super impressed with her new tank. I love how I put two Buddhas in there as well. I think they look fantastic, but she's probably going to chuck a bunch of topsoil straight on top of that Buddha that's just outside of her hide area. But that is it for today's episode, guys. So if you could like, comment, and share, that would be absolutely great. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon so you're notified of when I upload next. I would say go and subscribe to Couch Shocked Arachnophobia, but there's not much point at the minute, so stay tuned for around about Christmas time. But check out his Instagram. It's Couch Shocked Arachnophobia. He puts some awesome photos on there. But that is it for today's episode. So Mr. Grindler's done here. So are my creatures. So are my Balfouries. I'll see you next time, guys. Have a great week. You deserve it. Peace.